Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, text 15. Arjuna Uvacha Pashyami Devam Stava Deva Dehe Sarvam Stadha Bhuta Visesha Sanghan Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastham Rishimscha Sarvan Uragamscha Divyan. Now, after seeing the universal form, Arjuna is praying like this: O my Lord, in your form I see Pashyami Tava Deva Dehe Devan, all the demigods, Devan Sarvan, Tadha Bhuta Visesha Sanghan, all living entities assembled, Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastham. I see Lord Brahma sitting on Kamalasana, on the lotus flower. I see Lord Shiva Isham, as well as Rishin, great sages, and Uragan, Divyan Uragan, and many divine serpents. You see how Arjuna in one place is able to see everything. So Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and the other demigods are devas. Krishna is Adi Deva. Some people say that Krishna was born only at the end of Dwapara Yuga. So how come he is God? God must be ever existing, eternal. How somebody who is born in Dwapara Yuga can be God? So what we have to understand is Krishna Leela is Nitya Leela. It is not that Krishna has come in Dwapara Yuga 5000 years ago and he has performed his pastimes and it is finished, is done, he is born, he did some activity and he is gone. No, these are all Nitya Leela, eternal activities going on from time eternal. Krishna repeatedly comes. Sambhavami yuge yuge, Krishna says in 4th chapter. Krishna comes as he is once in a day of Brahma, and he comes in his incarnations and expansions in innumerable forms. And all these leelas are eternally going on, like a clockwork. Like, for example, the sun, every day it rises and it sets. Do we say that the sun is born today and the sun has died today? No, to us it appears like that. To our vision, we see the sun is born and the sun grows and eventually sun dwindles and then the sun dies. No, but actually the sun is there in the sky. It appears to grow up. It appears to born like that. So like that, Krishna's Leela is eternally going on. If Krishna finished his pastimes in this universe, he is manifesting his pastimes in another universe. Just like the sun, if it sets here, it is rising in some other place in this world, isn't it? They will feel like the sun is born. So similarly, in another universe, Krishna is born when Krishna ends his pastimes here. So like this Krishna Leela is Nitya Leela. So we should not misunderstand, oh, Krishna has just appeared in Dwapara Yuga and therefore he cannot be the original person. Lord Brahma therefore confirms in Brahma Samhita, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. So there are many Ishwaras, but the Parama Ishvara, the highest of them all, is Krishna. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. And he has got Satchid Ananda Vigraha. His body is not like our bodies. His body is made of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Eternity means Krishna comes as he is. He does not change his body. Eternally, Krishna stays in his ever youth, fresh body, not subject to any material defects and material decomposition. Therefore, Krishna can remember everything. We forget everything because our body, our cells, our memory, they dwindle. That is why Krishna says, O Arjuna, this knowledge I have given to Vivaswan several millenniums ago. Bahuni me janmani vyatitani tava Arjuna. And after that, I have appeared in many incarnations, and you also appeared along with me as my devotee. But you forgot. I never forget. Taniyaham veda sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. So, Krishna's body is Sachidananda Vigraha. And Anadir Adir Govindaha. He does not have an origin, whereas he is the origin of everything. And Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. It is not just Lord Brahma, but it is confirmed in various scriptures. Even Shankaracharya confirmed Narayana para vyaktat. Narayana is superior to everything. And Aham evasam evagre, Krishna mentions in Srimad Bhagavatam. I am the only one that was existing before everything. So, when Krishna is showing all these devatas, Sarvan Devan, we should understand that worshipping Krishna includes worship of all the devatas. Just like when you pour water to the root of the tree, you are serving all the parts and parcels of the tree. Sometimes people, I get asked this question, Prabhu, we are used to worshipping certain devatas. So, what will happen when I start worshipping Krishna? They may get angry, or I might stop receiving. Some things may go wrong. So, in Bhagavatam, it is said, actually, not just devatas, we are obligated to different things. Of course, we are obligated to devatas because they are providing the air, water, rains, everything that we need, as well as the living entities like cows and these domestic animals who give service. The cows give milk, the bulls help us plow the crops. So, like that, of course, pets are giving so much of service. So, we are obligated. And the relatives, they take care of us, they bail us out of trouble. The forefathers for having begotten us in this family and giving us certain riches, isn't it? We are obligated to all these people. We are obligated to the government. We are obligated to our guardians, so on and so forth. So, to pay off the obligation, we need to pay something that is called yagna. That is why the system of yagna is there in the Vedic literature, so that we are paying off our debts. Otherwise, we are a debtor. Like you take a loan from somebody, you have to pay back with interest, isn't it? Otherwise, the interest keeps accumulating and you'll be deprived of your possessions. All these things will happen, isn't it? So, why people suffer? Because they are debtors. Their obligations are increasing, but they are not doing anything towards it. Every living entity in this world. Why there is suffering? Because we are not paying back our loan. We are not taking care of our obligations. But that is why in Kali Yuga, because we cannot take care of these obligations. In earlier ages, people were knowledgeable. They would do all this Panchamaha Yagna every day to take care of these obligations. But we cannot do that in this age, nor people have knowledge about it. And we are becoming more and more obligated. So that is why Bhagavatam gives the solution. Devarshi bhutaptanunam pitrunam nakinkaro nayam runi charajan sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. What it means is we are obligated, as I said, to Deva Rishis for giving us knowledge, Devas, Rishis, Bhuta, living entities, Apta, our relatives, Pitrunam, our forefathers. But one who takes shelter of Krishna and serves him exclusively, Gato Mukundam Parihritya Kartam, then he is absolved of all these obligations. One stroke. One time there was this man who was having a small land and he was not doing that well. He was not getting proper income from it. He was struggling to bring up that crop. But because he took that land from the government, he had to pay the tax. So the tax is growing up, but the crop is not coming. So he had one son, grown up son. He said he would put his son to use in somebody else's crop, one of the workers in some friend's place, so that he can get some income. Otherwise, he's not able to pay back. So he sends his son, so he thinks he gets some money and all that. So after a while, that particular friend comes and says, "Oh, your son is not coming to my place, and you owe me this much." And then this man becomes surprised. "Oh, I thought my son was there. When has he disappeared?" And he'll be wondering what happened. And he is now thinking, "Oh my God, now I need to pay you as well as pay the king all these dues. How am I going to take care of this?" And he is in a state of misery. And the next day he sees that these soldiers are coming, and then he gets even more panicked. So he thinks that this friend has gone and complained to the king that this person does not, he will not pay the tax and he owes me this much. And his son goes and steals from people and all these things. So he must have complained. And these soldiers are here. And he gets panicked and he starts to run. And the soldiers, obviously, they can run faster with their horses and all that. And they go and catch him, arrest him, and then they bring him to the king. And the king sees him and he becomes shocked. "Hey, why did you arrest him? I just told you go and bring him here. I didn't mean to arrest him, and release him, release him." And then the king personally takes him respects him, and takes him to a quarters right next to the king's place, and says, "Oh, this is your new house." And then this man becomes shocked, surprised. "What do you mean, this is my new house? I live in a old poor hut." No, the king says, "Yes, this is your new house, and here is your son." And then he becomes even more shocked. "My son has disappeared. How did he end up here? How is he in nice clothes and turban and all that?" And then the king says, "Actually, I employed your son. Your son is a brilliant person. He has a great art. He can instantly crack a joke. And somehow, my son, young boy, he encountered your son during one of his trips. And your son, he was entertaining him with some tricks and telling some jokes and all of that. So he liked him so much, he immediately brought him here, and he said, I want his company every day." So, and then I also found that he's got a great talent, and he's employed as the chief entertainer in the court. So he's given permanent employment for the pleasure of the kingdom here. He's part of my personal staff. So he's relieved of all the duties, and you're also relieved of all your duties. Just come and stay with him here, and you don't have to worry about your crop or anything like that. All of that is taken care by me. And then this man becomes so happy that finally his son has come to some use, and finally he has to need not take care of any of these duties. So you see how everyone has a talent, and if it is somehow used in Krishna's service, it doesn't matter what talent it is. Krishna can use everybody, everything in his service. The spiritual master can use. And when you do that, you become part of Krishna's personal service. And when Krishna accepted you as his personal servant, just like the king accepted you as part of his personal staff, you don't have any worry in the world, isn't it? All your worries are taken care. All your small problems are taken care. All the obligations are taken care. All the obligations the king will pay personally. All the dues are paid off. So, this is what happens when you take shelter of Krishna, then it is liberation. Liberation means freedom from all kinds of miseries. People are struggling to get free from all kinds of miseries, isn't it? So, this is Krishna's guarantee. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. So, Krishna says, if you surrender unto me, I take care of everything. You need to have that confidence. Then all the obligations will be absolved from. Otherwise, we have to take care of everything. So, one shot, we will achieve everything. So, you see here, the structure of the universe is also mentioned. At the bottom of the universe, there is this snake bed Vasuki. Rishimscha Sarvan, Uragamscha Divyan, the divine serpent Vasuki. Then there is Garbhodakashai Vishnu, who is lying on that divine serpent. And from his navel, a lotus stem sprouts and a lotus flower forms. And then Brahma is born on the lotus flower. So Arjuna is seeing all of this. So Brahma's planet is the topmost planet of this universe. Brahma is situated on that lotus flower. And on the stem, there are several planetary systems. Totally, there are 14 planetary systems. Ours is the middle planetary system, Bhuloka. Then above there is Bhuvarloka, uh, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swarloka, Maharloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, and Brahmaloka. And below that, there are seven planetary systems: Atala, Vitala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala, like that. So you see, 14 planetary systems are there. The universal structure, it is structured like that. So Arjuna was able to see all of this sitting in one place. So you see how if disciple is qualified, the spiritual master can reveal everything. It's about revelation. Our work is how we can become more qualified to be able to perceive. Yesterday I was hearing a lecture from Srila Prabhupada. He was saying the same thing that we discuss, but more profound. That people say, show me God, show me Krishna. But the Shastra is saying, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is none other than Krishna himself. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So by hearing Krishna, we are actually seeing Krishna. But we cannot perceive it because of our inability to see spiritual things. But the more we chant nicely and more we become qualified, we can see Krishna eye to eye, face to face, just by the chanting of this mantra. That is why it is Maha Mantra. So it is all about how we become more qualified, how we can become, how we can train our eyes to see the higher reality. So the what we progress spiritually is not because of our material ability, it is because of our faithful service to the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada, he always said his success was to follow his spiritual master's instructions faithfully. During the early days of our movement, so the devotees, they were struggling in various ways, establishing small temples, running the temples. So one time in San Francisco, when the temple was started in the very beginning stages, they didn't have money to pay the rent for their apartment. The devotees who were living together and serving the temple. And the morning of their impending eviction, they were about to get evicted. And they were leaving their apartment to go down the street for the morning service at the temple. And as they came outside, $100 bills floated down from an undetectable source. And they gathered up the money and were able to pay their rent and even give a sizable donation to Srila Prabhupada. See, when devotees in Philadelphia, they faced a similar situation and they decided to continue their regular service of Harinam Sankirtan, public chanting, and depend on Krishna's mercy. And the day the rent was due, a man that they had never seen before and they never saw again came up to their Sankirtan party and handed them an envelope. And it said, for Krishna. And it contained the exact amount for the rent. See, you see in these examples, Krishna placed his devotees in a situation where their only recourse was to depend upon him. He sometimes places devotees in a difficult situation just to prove that he is the source of their supply. In this way, the devotees' faith becomes stronger and they become free from anxiety, knowing that Krishna will provide for their needs. So, this is the faith on Krishna. In Jagannath Puri, when we went a few years ago, we saw something very wonderful. There is a service of flag hoisting on the temple dome. This service, believe it or not, it happens every day, daily in the evening. So, right from 8 years old, the devotees are trained for this service. And the devotees engaged in this service are called Garuda Sevaks because they climb the dome praying for the mercy of Garuda. And this flag is hoisted on top of the Sudarshan Chakra situated on the top of the temple dome, which is very high, probably a couple of 100 feet high. And this is a manual process. There's no ladder or lift or elevator or helicopter or anything like that. And the Sevak, he wraps the huge flags around him and he simply climbs the dome. And by the grace of Lord Jagannath, they hoist the flag and they come down. Whether it is rainy day or sunny day or stormy day, there is no interruption to this service. And one time it is told that there was this 15-year-old devotee who was doing this service and people were watching him, and it was a wet day and they were very carefully watching him, but he was effortlessly climbing up. He hoisted the flag and came down. And, you know, suddenly there he was about to slip, and some nowhere a monkey appeared on the dome, caught hold of him by his hand, placed him on the dome, and then walked away. And then people, they were like wondering how you were able to do this without fear. And then he replied, I am not hoisting the flag. It is Lord Jagannath who is doing it. I am just an instrument. See how this this is the richness of the realization. Every time when we do the service, we should think that it is happening by Krishna's mercy. Like Prabhupada writes in one wonderful purport, Srimad Bhagavatam. By the transcendental energy of the Lord, everything is possible. So we need to have that faith that Krishna can accomplish everything. Krishna is powerful. All I need to do is become more qualified so that Krishna can use me effectively, isn't it? Only when the knife becomes sharp, it can penetrate or it can cut. It has best use. If the knife becomes blunt, even if the person is a very skillful person, he has to work very hard or it will be useless. So our sadhana is nothing but sharpening that knife. Not that I become the wielder of the weapon. The wielder of the weapon is Krishna. But I become a nice instrument. When I nicely hear, when I nicely chant, when I nicely pray and depend on Krishna's mercy, that's when Krishna can use us wonderfully. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.